Now is the turn of Sofia, Kallou, Caterina Kikilia, and Michael Kalojanakis. Pardon me for this horrible pronunciation in Greek. Hello, Sofia. Good morning.
Good afternoon from here, from Greece. I'm glad to participate in this conference, and I hope to enjoy my presentation.
For
let's
sure.
share on the screen.
Yes, exactly, Sofia. So please share your screen. I'm happy to be off to the second presenters of this session, Sofia, Kallou, with her presentation on emotional intelligence development in tourism, education, and training through digital technologies. So, Sofia, you will have about 20 minutes to go to do your presentation. And at the end of your presentation, there will be about 10 minutes for question and answer sessions. So I kindly ask all attendees and participants to insert the questions for Sofia in the Q&A chat box, and also to use the chat box for any technical issues or information they need. So please, Sofia, the screen is yours and you can start your presentation.
Okay, can you see my presentation? Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this research is about emotional intelligence development in tourism education and training through digital technologies. Before I start my presentation, I would like to thank my supervisor, Professor Katerina Kikilia, and Professor Michael Kalojanakis for their help and support. This research focuses on the key points of emotional intelligence development in some critical areas in tourism education and training through digital technologies. A rapid literature review analysis was conducted in combination with a shock analysis, focusing on emotional intelligence and the use of digital technologies in tourism education and training. This is the first page, okay? And then what I explained. And let's see some things about emotional intelligence. Salovey and Meyer are at the forefront of shaping emotional intelligence theory by defining as the ability of a person to control and regulate his or her emotions and emotional reactions to himself and others, and to be able to distinguish them and to use the information that emerges from them to guide his thinking and actions. Daniel Goleman has developed a model that consists of 4 competencies. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize our emotions. Self-management, the ability to control our emotions. Social awareness, the ability to recognize others' emotions, and it includes empathy too. And relationship management, the ability to build healthy relationships and communicate effectively. The role of emotional intelligence in the working environment has increased in recent years. Particularly, emotional intelligence plays a significant role as the contributor to personal excellence and success. It has linked to leadership effectiveness, job satisfaction, performance, effective communication, success, interpersonal relationships. Individuals that have a high level of emotional intelligence are more flexible, and they can adapt and they can deal in difficult situations that may arise in business. So let's see why emotional intelligence is crucial for the tourism sector. As we all know, tourism is an industry that focuses on people, with visitors seeking experiences from the destination, communicating at the same time with various stakeholders. So it is the communication between tourists and service employees that creates these memorable experiences, because service employees with high level of emotional intelligence can understand customers' thoughts and emotions and develop empathy resulting in customer satisfaction. So tourism employees make the difference to these visitors' experiences. Understanding customers' emotions in the tourism industry quickly and correctly is crucial, as service business's reputation depends on employees' ability to satisfy the customer's needs on time. Let's see some things about tourism education and training. Tourism education and training are essential for developing human resources, providing incentives and knowledge to students, contributing to their efficiency while giving the company a competitive advantage. However, in a world characterized by radical changes, tourism education did not evolve and remain traditional. A transformation that focuses on innovative teaching methods, curriculum, and new learning environments is crucial for the evolution of tourism education and training. Focusing on developing soft skills, critical thinking, teamwork, communication skills will provide advantages to tourism sector students and employees. On the other hand, the ongoing rapid development of emerging technologies has brought about radical changes in education training goals, programs, methods, and corporate values. These emerging technologies include LMS, MOOCs, web conference technologies, gamification, mobile learning, virtual technologies, for example, virtual reality and augmented reality. More specifically, in the tourism sector, research has shown that tourism students are enthusiastic about using online learning and enjoy the experience compared to the traditional classes. Additionally, some researchers have recognized the online learning as the future of hospitality and tourism education. As regards the methodology, a rapid literature review analysis was conducted in combination with the SWOT analysis. The objective of conducting the SWOT analysis is to develop critical areas of focus for improving the tourism education and training concerning the curriculum, teaching techniques, infrastructure, educators. This is a SWOT analysis about the findings of emotional intelligence development in tourism education and training. First of all, the good news. Emotional intelligence can be developed through training. It is also linked to performance, leadership, job satisfaction, relationship development, reduced stress, adaptability, flexibility, effective communication. Additionally, empathy leads to customer satisfaction and loyalty. That means that emotional intelligence provides a unique experience to customers, and so they will come back, and that increase their loyalty to this business. But there are some weaknesses. For example, the training of educators is costly, and emotional intelligence is not something that it takes short time to develop, but it takes time to develop. But there are opportunities. Tourism organizations should consider to use emotional intelligence as a tool for improving performance and job satisfaction. They also consider to offer emotional health services as a part of a benefits package to reduce burnout and stress of their employees. But there are some challenges too. Some individuals can recognize the other's emotions, and they can take advantage of this ability to manipulate others. Additionally, emotional intelligence equates with more self-control, yet extreme self-control leads to low innovation and creativity levels. This is a SWOT analysis, and we can see the findings of using digital technologies in tourism education and training. A large number of students can participate in open access platforms from anywhere at any time, and they can have interaction, especially in synchronous communication, Digital learning environments are characterized by their flexibility, their reduced cost, there is commitment and motivation, engagement, performance, and effectiveness for the students. But there are some weaknesses. For example, the technical difficulties and the internet connection, and that not all the platforms are available. And of course, there is not immediate feedback in asynchronous communication, and the less physical interaction with educators. But there are opportunities, the changes in knowledge and skills, the lifelong developing, the new teaching styles that emphasize in interaction and communication, educators training for developing effective learning practices, and the creation of online courses that encourage social presence. But there are the emotional problems from the isolations and the cost of technology that not anybody can afford it, and the not well-trained educators for structuring modeling, because there are differences in techniques and methods between face-to-face teaching practices and distance education methods. So there should be a well-trained educators for this learning, for these new learning environments. According to the previous tables, I will present strategic points for the utilization of emotional intelligence in tourism education and training through digital technologies. The introduction of emotional intelligence in the tourism education curriculum should provide opportunities for developing teamwork, emotional, social skills, communication skills, and there should be a focus on critical thinking. Digital technologies enhance the learning and teaching practices through multiple ways. Therefore, new technologies must be included in tourism education to be used effectively in teaching and learning practices, not only as supportive tools, but also as educational ones. About the educational techniques and teaching methods, there should be a focus on techniques for training in emotional intelligence and techniques for enhancing communication skills. They should be a student-centered approach that enhances interest and ensures learners' participation. A climate of freedom and security should be cultivated so to promote learning through critical reflection and dialogue. Educators' training should be equally focused on the cognitive and the emotional dimension. Additionally, educators should be trained in digital technologies, using digital teaching strategies, and should establish frequent and quality interaction with students, because what really missed from the students in these learning, digital learning environments is the interaction with their peers and the educators. Consequently, digital technologies are present in most institutions and companies and contribute to creating new learning environments that have opened up the development of new educational experiences and encourage learners' active participation and the improvement of specific skills and abilities. The need of education and the tourism industry has to understand the need for new training programs and methods that will lead to development of emotional intelligence through digital technologies. Regardless of hard skills, employees need to acquire emotional intelligence development that will add massive value to the tourism education and the tourism industry. This will contribute to the upgrade of the provided services and to further development and productivity of the tourism sector. The strategic key points that emerge from the findings concerning that the utilization of emotional intelligence through digital technologies is valuable for the tourism education as well as the tourism industry. integrating emotional intelligence in the academic curriculum, and teaching methods that focusing on improving emotional and social skills, communication, collaboration, interaction, and critical thinking will provide high-quality services in the tourism sector. Effective teaching development of the educators that promotes emotion and social skills is essential too. Investment in digital technologies for the design of tourism education and training, and the utilization of digital teaching strategies are essential according to the requirements of the contemporary era. Communication techniques and frequent interaction with students lead to a more attractive learning process resembling the classroom environment. To conclude, digital technologies in recent years have become ingrained in education and training programs, enhancing the quality of the learning process and leading learners to respond to the new knowledge society needs. While new technologies are rapidly integrated with education and training, emotional intelligence is becoming a critical factor that has garnered attention both in educational and business field. Integrating emotional intelligence in the academic curriculum and innovative teaching methods are valuable for the learning process, providing at the same time a qualified of soft skills human capital. Qualified educators and investment in digital technologies are essential too. The development of emotional intelligence in tourism education and training through digital technologies is a progression that every educational system will need to make, and is also a vital opportunity for the tourism and hospitality sector to thrive and meet the needs that globally arise. Thank you very much for your attention. So I'm open for your questions.
Thanks to you, Sofia, and also to your colleagues that are not attending the conference, but for sure part of your work team. And so I don't read a specific question to you in the Q&A chat, but I'm so pleased to share with you my impression and question, if you agree. So it's so much interesting thinking about emotional intelligence through digital technologies, especially in the tourism sector that, as you obviously know, is part of the creative industry sector that are so much related to this digital promotion idea, especially so much pivotal during the this month and this period of pandemic. But what are in particular, because you mentioned it, but not so much deeper, so it's my curiosity, what are, in your opinion, the particular digital teaching strategies that can effectively support emotional intelligence in the tourism education sector?
Yes, there are a lot of methods and techniques that we can implement to develop emotional intelligence through digital technologies. For example, role play and group work, dialogue and critical thinking, even meditation. Yes, from digital environments, we can develop emotional intelligence even through meditation. So there are a lot of methods and techniques that we can use, brainstorming, case studies, a lot of, it's what we really want to develop, because maybe somebody is good at one competence of emotional intelligence. For example, maybe I am good to understand my emotions and to recognize my emotions. For example, I have self-awareness, but I'm not good at developing healthy relationships. So I should focus on this competency. So somebody maybe he's good at one competency and not good at the other. But the point is to be good and to develop in all 4 competencies. And that really takes time to develop, and it's not something easy.
Yeah, for sure. And also you underline the importance of training educators, in this on this focus, like the last presenters. So it's very important also to think about that. Thanks, Shelby Marshall, for inserting a question for Sofia in the chat. The question from Shelby is: are there any specific types of interactive media that you have found to be useful or expected to use? So the main point is the interactive media for emotional intelligence.
Yes, there are a lot of digital technologies that we can use, for example, web conference technologies. This time we're going to research about web conference technologies at the universities and the ease of use of these technologies during the COVID-19 pandemic at the university. There are a lot of other, for example, we can use augmented reality or virtual reality, but it is something very special, and it needs a lot of work to do. And other interactive tools can be, for example, LMS, because there you can upload some case studies or something like that. And we're looking to find some other digital reactive tools.
And what about, for example, videos, games, digital simulations, media?
Yes, there are simulations that we can use, and of course, games, mobile learning, everything. We can do everything with digital technologies.
Thank you. Thanks also to Shelby for these interesting questions. And the last one from my side. Please, can you tell me the link between emotional intelligence and social inclusion?
Social inclusion, what do you mean social inclusion? Can you...
If emotional intelligence is effective in terms of social inclusion, what do you think?
What is inclusion? And understand this word. Social communication, what...
Yeah, to be part of a society, to be an active.
Oh yes, of course. Emotional intelligence is linked to relationship development. Development is linked to interaction. So we have to cultivate healthy relationships and to develop healthy relationships. It doesn't really matter to have a lot of relationships. The matters to the thing is to develop healthy relationships in the workplace, in our families. Everywhere, in our friendships, in our marriage. So when we're talking about emotional intelligence, we're talking about emotions, and we're talking about relationships and interactions and communication.
So active citizenship. So thank you very much, Sofia, for this incredible presentation.
Thank you very much too.